Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me your ears. Today, I want to talk about how do you go deep into your niche? Because that's where you'll get rich. We've all heard that phrase, right? If you want to be rich, go into your niche. Now, let me set this up because this is a true story. Talking to a client of mine, they sell real estate properties, right? And these are high-end luxury real estate properties. And he says, Victor, how can I be more successful? I said, well, let's start out with the basics. You know what product you're selling? And I saw the products they're selling, right? The virtual tours of these properties are just exquisitely beautiful, right? Beautiful virtual tours. So the product is set. The brochures is set. They don't have a problem with marketing. Now, the problem here is that the sales agent, doesn't really know how to approach the market. So I asked him, I said, okay, well, tell me about your market. He said, well, Victor, I go after entrepreneurs, I go after business executives, and I go, after like doctors, lawyers, professional service people. I go after all these people. And then I stopped and said, well, wait, slow down. I said, but who is your niche? What is your niche? Who is your buying persona target, right? Who do you go after? He says, what do you mean? I said, I just told you, entrepreneurs, business owners, and, doctors, lawyers. I said, no. I said, in order to be successful, especially in the high-end luxury market, you have to know who your specific target market is. Because in understanding your target market, you're going to be able to sell more effectively. So he kind of looked at me just like, this is a Zoom call, and he's kind of looking at me like, I don't get it. I said, let me walk you through it. If you focus on going after too many personas, entrepreneurs, business executives, which could be anything, right? CIO, CEO, CSO, CTO, C everything O, right? Or, different professional services. I said, you're all over the place. He says, what you need to do is be successful going after one, maybe two, and maybe even three specific buyer personas. I said, let me give you an example. Let's say that you decided that one of your target personas that will buy a high luxury product, like a new condominium or something like that, another property, is, for example, lawyers, right? Lawyers make a lot of money, especially the good ones. And so maybe they have discretionary income that they want to use as investment, maybe buy a second home for personal use. They might buy it to just kind of rent it out and create some passive income. They might do it for a tax benefit. Who knows? They may even do it for social status, convenience, or maybe as part of some type of portfolio diversification. Many reasons why a lawyer would probably want to buy a second property, right? So I listed all those reasons, and so he's taking notes. I said, now, let's look at lawyers. Let's say for the next month, 2 months, you focus just on lawyers. Now, when you dig into lawyers, you really realize that there's quite a variety of lawyers. For example, there might be some that focus on, let's say, finance law, right? Taxes and things, anything that has to do with finance. There might be personal injury attorneys. There might be, there might be even real estate attorneys. There are all different types of alternate attorneys out there that you can go after all these different type of markets. So what you want to do is hone in even further. And let's say you go after lawyers who are in the financial space. In other words, they help people with their taxes, and they help people litigate financial issues or situations. And maybe you discover that this type of lawyer has a lot of discretionary income, especially because they're advising people as lawyers who have a lot of disposable income. So then I can just see his face lighting up, like he's getting it. He's like, so you're telling me, Victor, if I focus in on lawyers, but more specifically, let's say those who deal in the financial space, I'll begin to find more business. I said, well, I'm not saying you're going to begin to find more business. I said you're going to find more opportunities. And that is that you'll begin to understand who these people are. See, once you dive in, I'll say the financial legal pool, you may discover things about that business, those lawyers in that space that nobody else really understands. In other words, you'll be able to see the nuances of that business. See, this is what it means to go deep into a niche. You begin to see things that other people don't see. I always like to use this visual. In order to see what's around the corner, you have to walk to the corner to see. So let's say you mentally walk down to the corner, and that corner being you're going to focus in on this financial space for lawyers. And then once you get into this space, you're going to walk down to the corner, so to speak, and then you're going to start seeing Again, the nuances, the differences, how these people operate, how they buy, what interests them, what doesn't interest them. Going back to reasons for buying, maybe you'll discover that most lawyers in this financial space always buy properties, second properties, for investment purposes or diversification of a portfolio. But now what begins to happen, here's where the magic happens. Once you start studying a niche, like you really focus in on that niche, in this case, legal lawyers in the financial space, you're going to see things that other people don't see, but you're also going to perfect your pitch. You're going to perfect your presentation because now you know how to talk to this type of persona. Now, I'm not saying you have to focus on one. You can pick a second one or a third one. It could be within, let's say, the legal field, or maybe you'll say, you know what, I'm going to focus on lawyers within the financial space, but then I'm going to look at doctors who do XYZ. And again, if you look at just the medical space, there's so many different types of doctors that, again, once you get into these niches, you'll begin to understand them. Now, let's go back to legal. If you go back to this legal space and in this legal financial space, what you're going to discover is these lawyers know each other. Lawyers within the financial space know each other, which means if you sell one, you're going to get referrals for another, so forth and so on. You begin to understand that market. That is the power of going deep within a niche. So again, you can do the shotgun approach and try to hit everybody, entrepreneurs, business owners, doctors, therapists, whatever it may be. Or you can be like a sharpshooter. Really go in like a sniper, and you go in and you find your target market, your target persona, and then you dig deep into that persona. You go into the legal field, you would deal with lawyers. Within lawyers, you feel, I'm going to go into the financial space. And maybe you'll find that people in that space, those lawyers within that space, have a lot of discretionary income, will give you referrals, and you may be shocked to find out that because they're always looking for opportunities for portfolio diversification, that a luxury item that you're offering is not a big deal to them. It's going to be an easier sale. Focus in on a specific market, find your target market, and you will sell more effectively. So I hope this example gives you at least an idea, gives you some brainstorming fodder so you can actually think of ways that you can actually apply this. And that is it for the Sales Influence Podcast. Leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Love to hear what you think. And after you do that, check out the Sales Velocity Academy. You know the deal. Over 50 courses, 500 videos. If you want to learn how to sell more faster, check out the salesvelocityacademy.com. Go to salesvelocityacademy.com. And on that note, this is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selenate hard when you focus and you know how. Take care.
Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.